Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary.
You are listening to
Kayak Adventure Series.
Kayak Adventure Series. This is where you choose your own adventure. You want to be offshore? You want to be shallow? You want to go up the creek?
You want to have a kayak that is sophisticated?
Or a kayak that is simple?
You get to choose your own adventure.
Oh, looky there. That's a micro bag. I hope you brought the family. This is going to be wild. Hey, this adventure is going to be amazing. What's going on, guys?
Not much. I didn't know what to do with my hands during that whole intro.
I don't know what this is like past my bedtime.
I know. So somebody needs to make us a video that goes with that audio. When we get big enough, someone's gonna actually listen to this and hear it, watch it. And
Yeah,
then
they're gonna want to do it.
email.
They're gonna be
We're just gonna
excited.
Yeah,
You know, I actually started making one for it.
get out of here.
Yeah, we talked about that. Like I started editing it together, and then I got sidetracked with other stuff, and here we are.
Yeah, I know. We've started a lot of things we didn't finish, but we've actually accomplished a lot this season, and I'm looking forward to this finale that we're going to talk about today on the preview show. And before we get started in that, on our little opening lines in segment, I do want to thank GoPro. You see their logo on the top right, and they're the headline sponsor of this, and we always appreciate them. So I always want to mention them. We couldn't do it without them. Yes, there we go. They announced the new 13, Hero 13, and the new very simplified Hero. Billy, did you see that? I'm sure you saw that.
Yep.
So I'm excited. They're actually going to send us some Hero 13s, or at least one or two, before Broodstock. So we're going to get a chance to use them, test them out. I know you guys are excited about that, and possibly even some Heroes and some for some 12 surprises, some 12 blacks. And
Do you
so it's
think
gonna be
Billy's
exciting.
going to try to upgrade and trade that 12 we gave him for his slow-mo clip to get a 13?
I might.
Have you used it yet, Billy?
Oh, I have two. I had a 12 already, and I had a different brand. I won't say the name of it, but when I found out GoPro was sponsoring Kayak Adventure Series, I went out and spent my own hard-earned money on a GoPro, because when I caught the fish and I got it on video, I wanted it to be on a GoPro, and then I was in
Nice.
slow-mo.
It's too bad that I don't have
Just-
big bass William kayaks.mov handy. I would hit play. And we
right
could
now
see
we can see it.
Billy's
Yeah.
handiwork.
But you captured it, even though it was a time lapse. I guess, was that what it was?
It
Right?
made
You
it
did a time
better,
lapse?
in my opinion.
It was funny that you accidentally had time. I've had that happen before, so it's not uncommon. But the thing, the good and the bad, I guess, with the GoPros is the Hero 13 and the 12 and all that. Like they're very much like a professional camera. They give you the option to do so much, and that can almost make you, the person that's obviously what you're doing. It was just a mistake, but that can confuse a lot of people that are beginners out there, and that's why this new Hero I'm excited about, because it's very simple, very small, lightweight, like just boom. Like we don't need the average person probably doesn't need all the options that you and I typically use correctly, but not always. So anyway, thanks to GoPro for believing in this. We've loved having them be a part of this, and hopefully that'll continue on and on. And I think they've started something pretty cool with us, given all the anglers' responses. And I can't wait to have this big finale and end the season and get rocking and rolling on next year. So I'm pumped. So that was our Lines In, presented by Sunline. Thank you, Sunline. News and notes. I don't know if we have a lot of news and notes, but we'll pull up the news and notes presented by Omnia. We're going to go quickly on news and notes, because this isn't really a regular live stream. This is our live stream. That's the official preview for Broodstock. Therefore, all I'm going to do is share my screen and actually tell you the one thing that happened recently, because we're speaking of Omnia, who's the sponsor of this segment, guys. You see this here? This is your Omnia Pro, and you log into the Omnia app or on the website. If you've purchased Pro, which I believe is just, what is it, Jake? Like $50, I think, something like that. And you get all these features, right? From the Navionics to all the layers over here. You get all this information, right? Well, they brought in something new, and it's on waypoints. It actually was talking to them about some things they could do and add, and there's a lot of new stuff coming down the pipe. And if you click on waypoints now, you can see I've got some already loaded in there that actually they're working on way to potentially load your waypoints in there from Google Earth and Google Maps. But you weren't supposed to see that I already had all those, and that was possible. But if you make a new waypoint, you can actually go down to choose file and click on file. Yep. And it will, screenshot. You can choose your file and up. So basically you can upload a image along with your waypoint. So if you're taking a picture of that, the river or lake from that bridge, or some boulders that are exposed because it's a winter pool, it'll have that GPS in those coordinates there. You can basically attach a picture with your waypoint. So that's cool. And then you can also, I think, make it private or public. So you can see right here, if I click on this one, this is Mogador Reservoir right near me. And this guy's got a public waypoint where he caught a big one on a mag draft, it looks like. So
yeah, so I think they're integrating the fishing reports into it, is what they're doing.
What it is fishing reports. It's kind of like, is this sort of like part fish brains? Is that kind of?
I mean, essentially a little bit more elevated.
Well, yeah, more elevated because it's a lot more information, right? And it gives you the ability to go and just purchase it straight from Omnia, which is great. Makes it simple. So I like it. You got all the layers there. So yeah, that's a cool new thing from Omnia, and on that Pro that you get. So go check it out. It's a great deal. And
a lot of times they run deals on I know I told you guys earlier when I bought mine, when I bought that Pro app, they gave like $50 in free shipping, and they'll run other promotions where it's basically free. And come on, you get free shipping anyway. I mean, they gave me a gift card, a credit to the Omnia store.
We've said it over and over again, but yeah, the price of buying avionics and all that stuff, it totally pays for itself. It's like Amazon Prime. Who doesn't really have Amazon Prime anymore, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer. But the last thing I was going to say with Sunline News and the Omnia News and Notes here at the beginning. I just lost my train of thought. I had something good to end it on, but can't remember. So we might just have to move on. I'll think of it later. Trust me. It's been a long, long week. Oh, Raccoon Creek Outfitters. I was going to switch to Raccoon Creek Outfitters. Thank you to Raccoon Creek Outfitters for always being our headline sponsor of the lives. And we will keep that logo up there.
You know what's crazy? Somebody messaged me last week and said, "Hey man, thanks for all the content you do in Asholi. I think I'm going to go buy one from Raccoon Creek." So
there you go. There you go.
Hey,
it works.
Pays off.
It pays off. And you know what? You know who wins in that situation? Raccoon Creek and the person, because they're getting a great product that, we obviously know Crescents are good boats, just like all the manufacturers that sponsor the Kayak Adventure Series, with that Asholi in particular. Obviously, I'm fond of it. So you're going to be happy in that boat. Congratulations. We're excited because we know both parties are going to, love the transaction. So Raccoon Creek Outfitters, thank you guys so much, Dustin and crew, and we'll see them, I'm sure, at Broodstock. So shall we get into it? Let's just run down this web page and run down everything we got to go over for Broodstock, and we may have a special guest pop in here. I'll message him and we'll find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event.
All right. Let's get to it. Is there a logo that comes up with that? Maybe, maybe not. All right. Then we will get to share my screen and go to, I may have just switched the page. Here we go. Broodstock. I'll take you to the website, kayakadventureseries.com, right? Easy enough. Click on it. You will see Bowling Green, Kentucky, Broodstock. If you didn't know, Broodstock is the name of, how fisheries biologists get, well, maybe you don't know, but if you don't, now you do. Fisheries biologists will shock in their electroshocking boats up bass in your area, lakes and rivers, that typically it's your state's, Department of Natural Resources or Fish and Game, whatever they're called. They stock up these giant fish. They shock up these giant fish, and they use them in basically their stocking tanks, their fish ponds to, spawn big fish, right? Genetics of big fish. They call those fish that they shock up that are big, they're broodstock. So we are calling our finale Broodstock. It's our classic. It's our red crest, if you will. And it's kind of a little play on Broodstock as well. So if you see here, guys, I'm just looking at this screen here. So chime in whenever you guys need to, because I cannot see you guys. So You guys can read all that. I'm not going to, bother you guys
Will
with.
Broodmaster be in attendance?
Will Broodmaster be in attendance? Of course, yeah. We should definitely pull him up on this stream if we're not already. We will find out who will be Broodmaster, which I still really need to we really need to think about this and vet out. I really need to is the winner of Broodstock the Broodmaster, or really should we change it and make the AOI winner the Broodmaster? Because the Broodmaster is kind of like the best angler who kind of kicked everyone's tail and just.
No, I feel like
I don't
having
know.
a subcategory is fine. It's like you're the angler of the year, and then if you win Broodstock, you're the Broodmaster. But if you really want to be the Broodmaster, you got to win Broodstock. You could still be AOI.
Okay,
You could take both
so you could
titles, right? Like
yeah.
you could be the angler of the year and Broodstock. I mean, to be honest, to be the Broodmaster, you almost have to be angler of the year.
That's true.
Come on,
That's true,
guys.
but the angler of the year, it's going to be tricky to win this final event. Only one person can win, so that's.
I know Ryan's probably going to be sweating the whole time.
I'm sure there's some people definitely coming for him, and we will see how it all shakes down in Bowling Green. So
he may have already been down there once, and he may have another trip planned already.
I'm sure he's so motivated, given that lead he's got, not to lose it, and all very legal before the 2-week window. And even during the 2-week window, of course, he's got 4 days he can fish. So you guys don't forget, just read through the rules. You can learn about how this is all done. This is an open event, so it's open to anyone. As you can see there in this opening paragraph, over $40,000 in just prizes. So we've been kind of saying over $50,000 in cash and prizes once we bring in the entry fees from all the anglers, because we feel pretty certain we'll have at least around that $10,000 mark. So that's a lot of cash and prizes going out to just, who knows how many anglers will fish this, because it is kind of the end of the year. You got football, you got hunting, but I feel like it's a great place to be in the fall. And I think you guys are going to have a good time in Bowling Green at the National Corvette Museum and the National Corvette Museum Motorsports Park that we're going to hold our opening ceremonies at. So let's just go down and check it out. So yeah, here's some of the water, some pictures of some of the lakes. And I thought, let me see, there we go. I thought I had some more pictures. You can scroll through and see the beautiful creeks here and rivers. I mean, I'm obsessed with the rivers and creeks here, and the lakes and ponds that are part of that, even the Peabody WMA. We talked about this a couple.
There's a lot of variety out there, because I've spent a lot of time out there, and you're gonna see stuff that looks like the Ozarks. You're gonna see stuff that looks like Tennessee, Kentucky, but then you're gonna see stuff that looks like that Mingo area. There's a lot of real swampy, I don't even know how you would I guess boggy type rivers where you're gonna see largemouth, spotted bass, and gar, and a lot of bowfin. You will catch bowfin in this tournament. Trust me.
Oh yeah. I'm wondering too, by the way, we are going to bring in a guest. I'm going to message him and see if, before I forget, if he is I'm going to tell him we're in the studio, and I hope I sent you the right link. Okay. Pop on whenever you're ready, bud. We got a local that knows about the water, guys. Tell me if you guys see him show up. Jesse.
All right, we'll let you know. Yeah,
we'll bring him in. I'm going to go back to the website so I can keep scrolling you guys through this. So October 4th and 5th, and that's a Friday and Saturday. If you're not familiar with the way Kayak Adventure Series works, you'll find out shortly why we do Friday and Saturday. Let's see. We've got a couple cities and counties involved here. The Bowling Green, obviously, visit bowlinggreen.com, and then the Edmonson County Tourism Commission as well. It's basically to the north, all that Nolan Lake area. So it's beautiful, beautiful countryside there. And it's all part of Mammoth Cave. So I'm sure some of you guys will have to make a trip over to Mammoth Cave National Park, because that is a pretty big one, and it's on a lot of people's bucket list.
It's a super cool area.
Yeah, it's
and then
wild.
What's funny is there's also an area there called Kentucky Down Under, which is a great place to take the kids.
Very, very nice. Yeah, I saw that on the site. They got a lot of exotic animals. Is that right? Is that the place?
Yeah, I've been there. That's the first place I ever tried buffalo burgers in my life when I was a small kid. It blows my mind that it's still there, because I was going there 25 years ago. So
yeah,
it's an institution, I guess, in that area.
Yep. It definitely is. I've seen a lot about that place online whenever you search this area. So let's see. Next up, the rivers and lakes: Nolan Lake, Barren River Lake, Green River, Barren River, Nolan River, Upper Red River, and the Peabody WMA Lakes and Ponds. We'll get more into that later, guys. On down on this page a little bit. There's multiple registrations and divisions you can enter. So the individual angler division presented by Torpedo, $150. The X2 team division presented by X2 Power, also $150, but it's a 2-man team, so $75 a person. Your youth will get a $75 a discounted fee to enter, $75 instead of $150, and we'll also award them on stage. So it's always fun seeing the youth get up there. Whether we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 10, it's awesome to see the youth get involved. And at the last event, that was cool seeing Oliver catch that fish that Elvis, posted or sent to us. That was so cool seeing him catch that big bass. He's going to be hooked forever now for sure. Let's see. All right, let me go down. He just sent me a text back. He's waiting for the link, but I sent him a link. So let me resend this guy the link, and you guys can go. If you guys can see there, you can kind of go over the other stuff, the other awards, the big bass and all that for a second. And I'll resend him the link. He said he didn't get it. So let me do that real quick.
So we got the Boondocks Big Bass. That's always fun. Jeff Little, I think he's been to every single one of these, and he'll bring the prizes up where you can actually see them. He demos Boondocks gear that you could win if you get the Big Bass. And the GoPro Epic Edit Award. We've talked about that already. Make sure you've got your GoPro and you've got it running.
The reigning champ is right there, right? Well, you were the big bass caught on camera, technically. So there's like 2 parts of that, right? So there's the Epic Edit, which is the best edit for the previous tournament, but then there's also the biggest caught on GoPro. So we actually do 2 awards there, and Billy is the reigning champ of that prior to this last event, which JT Hickman won. So we don't always have a winner. Shockingly.
No. Cross kicks, Century Belt. I got a pair of those. I have 3 pairs of cross kicks, but my most recent pair, I love them. I wore them in the Susky. I've worn them here locally in the craziest, rockiest rivers.
And he's wearing them right now.
I'm wearing them right.
Look, that's what it looks like right there, boys. Let's pull it up. I was mistaken. My phone buzzed for something else, but yeah, that's our cross kick Century Belt right there.
And we don't always give away one of those too, but when we do, wow, some cool stories. I think Russ got one. Who else? Same tournament.
Aaron got one.
Yeah,
Aaron Griffin.
This event could have 100 inches. I'm telling you, there could be 100 inches there. I mean, all of our events could have. Obviously, we had some weather.
I really thought Wisconsin was going to do it.
Yeah.
I think it could have if we had a little bit more water. I think it definitely would have. There would have just been a slightly bit more water. I think people would have done it, but
yeah. I agree. We just need a little bit more. The Omnia Attackable Trash, we are going to do that. We give away Omnia gift cards if you guys pick up trash, and we'll provide the bags. And a couple people win some gift cards, $100, $125 gift cards to Omnia for picking up a unique trash item. We're going to do raffle again, and I'm not sure exactly what items we're going to raffle for pediatric cancer, but we don't
have a kayak for this one, right?
We don't. We maybe we do, maybe we don't. I'm not sure. I've got a lot of stuff that's contributed. I got to figure out where it's all going to go because there's the AOI prizes, there's the Team of the Year prizes. It's got to get kind of all sorted out. I mostly got it figured out, but we may have a kayak. We'll see. In day 2, Dark Horse is the angler who jumps the most places from day 1 to day 2, and that has always been a hit. You get basically a monthly subscription box from Dark Horse Tackle. Aggressively Average Anglers, Average Joe's, an angler who finishes dead middle of the pack. You get some gear from the Aggressively Average Anglers. And Crescent Kids, they may not win a kayak because it's got to be a minimum. I mean, a minimum of 5 to win the kayak, but you could have 5 youth show up that we're going to give away a kayak to the top youth. So let's get the kids involved. That would be awesome to see 5 or more. Welcome dinner. This is cool. Here we go. Now we're getting into the cool, fun stuff. On Wednesday, a lot of people, especially for this event, are going to be there all week. So Wednesday's welcome dinner, we're going to go over to Rafferty's right there in town. It's a lot of fun. Hang out there, get some food, get some drinks from 7 to 9. Keep in mind, that I was gonna say, it gets dark a little earlier, so I think people could probably get there, still pre-fish up until almost dark, and still get there at 7. So that'll be sweet to have everyone there. We had like 15 people show up in Wisconsin. We tried this opening welcome dinner, optional, so that was cool. And then the actual opening ceremonies are the next day on Thursday at the Motorsports Park, where we're gonna have it's 5 to 8 p.m., but we're gonna have food there. I believe the food's probably going to be on us. The Kayak Adventure Series, just on us. Going to have food there, drinks, and then also go-karts for free, guys. Go-karts for a solid, if I scroll down here, you can see go-karts right here. This is what it looks like. 2 hours. Just hop in and go race. Be competitive with all the other anglers off the water with go-kart racing. I know Lance Cooley is really excited about this because, he was a kind of a race car driver. He's big into it. I don't know what level he got to, but he did a lot of, car racing. So
he made it. So he made it above the go-kart series.
He got above there. I don't know how far up, but we'll have to find out, but he's ready. He was posted on Facebook about, hey, I'm ready. Come on, let's go on and off the water. Let's race. So, I made a joke too. I said, hey, you guys go take him on, and let's not, or maybe I made a joke on this website here. I said something like, and let's, don't spin out, anyway, it's kind of a dad joke. Tournament spin outs. You guys,
Yeah.
Anyway, Badump-ching. Where's the Badump-ching when we need it, Billy? You can drive a real Corvette there as well. They got a road course. I think it might be like $400 to do it. But anyway, if you guys really want to drive on that bad and go super fast, then feel free. But that'll be fun. Just kind of on us, a couple hours of go-kart racing. And just fun there at the opening ceremonies. Then we move into the Bash U brunch the next day. That is going to be, by the way, at the opening ceremonies, guys, you can still register up to that point. So if you're not aware of that, that's check-in registration. You'll get your gift bags and, of course, go-karts. We got merch there, stuff like that's going on. So if you have any last-minute questions, that's a good time to ask me there in person so you can get an answer to that. We may have some catch boards available from either one of our, either myself possibly, or maybe Kayaks and More is going to come down and join us there and have some catch boards for sale if you still need one. Let's see. So the Bash U brunch is the next day on Friday. National Corvette Museum at the Wendell Strode Club Room. So that's our tournament headquarters. And then we'll have breakfast there starting at 10 to 11 a.m. I believe Russ Snyder's, last time I talked to him, he said he's coming and he would do a seminar. If so, we'll have him there. Just confirmed with Andrew Hayes of Tackle Talk Podcast that he's going to be able to make it. And if you guys haven't checked out his podcast, it is, I'll share it right here. Actually, Marie.
And we got to change that. The Bass U, it says PM 9 to 11:30 p.m.
Yeah. Good catch,
Yeah.
man. Finally some measurable output from Billy. Wow. Thanks, Billy.
Yeah.
You guys know Tackle Talk Podcast, right? And this is one of the most popular bass fishing podcasts out there from Andrew Hayes. You guys got to go check it out. Get subscribed. And he's very, very knowledgeable, just an absolute wealth of knowledge. And he's going to share it with you guys at the Bash U brunch presented by the Bash University. So let's get the other one back up here. And those have been going good. I mean, what do you think, Jake? I mean, it seems like everyone we're at, I feel like half the
last
field
one was
at,
super packed.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people there. I just posted a video showing a lot of it. If people are curious, the latter section of the YouTube video I just posted on my channel has like a whole thing with the Bash U brunch, and you could see how many people there. It's wild.
Or you could go. You definitely watch Jake's video, but also don't forget you got these cool recaps here. You can click on them, and we've got some pictures here. But definitely don't miss out on the Bash U brunch. As I sneeze. So go down here. You can actually see. Yeah, thanks, buddy. The fun everyone has at these events, and then this was what the Bash U brunch looked like. We were cooking. We had seminars from Josh Strinko, Jeff Little, myself, Christine Fisher. I think you guys can see kind of how we had it set up there, and just a good time of fellowship, which is what the series is really all about, because you can't guarantee the big fish are going to bite. And even when they do, you can't guarantee they're going to stay on. So what we can guarantee is a good time and some food and some fun and some fellowship. There's Jeff Little cooking up some eggs on the new Boondocks. What was that thing called again? The skedaddle or something? Is that right?
Yes, it's called the skedaddle.
Yeah,
I took that picture.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. So we will be there at the National Corvette Museum for that on Friday. And let's go back to the site. I can scroll you guys through back to the Broodstock page. Let me know when our guest pops in. He says he's going to hop in if he's got the right link. So
He must be watching the lunar eclipse, which is going on right now.
Really? I
Yep.
didn't know there's a lunar eclipse right now.
I didn't either.
Well, the more you know.
Okay, here we go. We are at the Bash U brunch. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then you'll notice that we end this thing a little early, 11:05 to 11:40. So we'll probably get out of there by, let's face it, like noon, 11:45, noon. But we're doing that for a reason, and I'll get to it in a minute because we're going to push the times up for the fishing a little bit because the daylight situation, and just because it's Broodstock. We want to give people a little extra time on the water. The closing ceremony is back on Saturday at 3 to 5:30 p.m. is the festival. So you might still be on the water because your lines out time is 3 p.m. But back at the National Corvette Museum, our headquarters, we will have food trucks and any of our vendors, our sponsors there, and just have the party rolling, right? Bounce house, whatever we got set up. The kite manufacturers or shops that'll be there 3 to 5:30. So you just get back whenever you can make it, right? And we'll see you there. The closing ceremony award show will start around 6, probably end around 7:15. And per usual, I think we've got it down to about hour and 15. Is that right? Hour and 15. We're getting pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But this is the finale. There's a little bit more to calculate. So, and a little bit more to give away. The AOY's Team of the Year, Angler of the Year. So if somebody wants to pull up a tab of those standings, that'd be cool to kind of show those in a minute and share that screen so we can see where everyone is sitting heading into this final one. We're going to try to do a non-fishing. We've tried to do this at other stops, and some have been successful and others not because of tropical storms mostly. But we're going to try to go to the Lost River Cave boat tour. If you have any friends or family that are not fishing the tournament, by the way. So that's from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 on Saturday. I think I skipped the after party there. Sorry. After party is back at Rafferty's on Saturday night. That's after the awards. For anyone who wants to go back to Rafferty's, since we're already familiar with that location and football is on, we're going there. Originally, we were going to go back across the street to the motorsports park and go-kart again. But as we've seen how these tournaments go, I think you two will agree, not as many people show up to the after party as we were hoping when we, developed this whole thing. And it's not because they don't want to. It's just they're so whipped because it's
I think a lot of people are partying while we're doing all the work. So by the time the awards are over, they're like, what do you mean after party? We've been partying this whole time. I'm going home to sleep. Yeah, exactly. And of course, a few people that live close enough just want to get home. But we didn't want to spend the money to rent out the entire, go-karting and all that stuff again for 10, 15, 20 people. I don't know how many people it'll be. We've definitely had, 30 or 40 show up to after parties. But we just decided we'll go back and just relax and watch football and it's an open restaurant, Rafferty's. So it doesn't matter if we have 5 people, if we have 25 people, it's fine. We can just roll in there and get some tables and have a good time and reminisce about the season that was. But yeah, the non-fishing event, if your friends and family are around, we're going to try to do a Lost River Cave boat tour that morning. We will see how that goes. If we get some people that want to do it and are interested. So let us know if you are. We do have a partner for lodging, Fairfield Inn and Suites and the Town Place Suite. So click on that booking link to see what special rates are giving us. And they got a room block. So if you're a hotel staying kind of guy or gal, that's the place to go. Fairfield Inn and Suites and Town Place, which is right near all of the action. Rafferty's, Cabela's is there. If you need to pick up some tackle, it's all right there. And our recommended kayak fishing retailers are Kayaks and More just north of town, Music City Outdoors in Nashville, and then of course Cabela's for tackle, like I mentioned. And then you guys can check out the other non-fishing activities and sites to see. Again, we're raising money for pediatric cancer with whatever we do raffle off at this event. Or possibly if we cover the food, I think if we cover the food
on Thursday's opening ceremonies at the Motorsports Park. I'm considering just asking you guys for a donation. If you want to donate $10, $20, $30, $50, and all that will be for the food. And we'll just send it straight to pediatric cancer through the Punt Foundation. So we could also raise some money that way. I'm not going to go over the detailed itinerary. This is more of what we're going to go over on Wednesday. I'm going to mention just a few things about it, but not going to go over all of it. Wednesday, before the tournament week Wednesday, we'll always have our official sort of like need to know meeting where it's not really a rules meeting, but it kind of goes over a lot of this stuff. So what I do want to mention, the most important thing about the times for fishing is on Friday, if you see right here, guys, your Bass U brunch will end, and then you have a 1:30 is launching, paddling, pedaling, and motoring allowed. So 1:30. Well, that's weird. We've been starting that at 2:30 and giving you guys 30 minutes previously, but we're going to do it this way because of the daylight situation. We don't want you guys out anywhere close to dark, and we want to give you a little bit extra time in the Friday afternoon session because we've noticed how people are just itching and ready to get out there. So we're going to try, and this is Broodstock, guys. So, we should have an extra hour, maybe or two on this Friday afternoon sesh, right? So 1:45, we're going to give you 15 minutes to kind of paddle out. There's a lot of good access on the lakes, especially in obviously the smaller lakes and ponds at Peabody or in the rivers and creeks. You don't need 30 minutes to get to where you're going. That's just a 5-minute paddle or 5 or 10-minute motor. So we're going to give you 15 minutes to get there. And at 1:45, that's when your lines in will start. So that gives you from 1:45 to 6:45. So that's an extra hour? Yeah, it's 5 hours for your afternoon sesh, which is cool. Having the extra hour on Friday. And then all your fish submissions will still be due by 8:30. And then on Saturday, it'll be a 6:30 a.m. lines in. And we will give you 30 minutes to get where you're going on Saturday morning. But that's how it's going to all shake out. And the last main thing I think we're going to talk about, we're going to bring in our guest if he's here, if he's got the right link. I still don't see him, but we'll talk about this until he gets in here. Let's see. I'll text him and say, let me know when you're in. Who knows? We have 2 links going on, so I could have sent him the wrong link. But do we want to go over the water now or just look at this AOI stuff?
I think Billy's got the AOI pulled up, but what's crazy is like my grandparents live in bounds in this event. Like that's the craziest thing.
Crazy.
How this worked out. So,
homecoming.
Yeah, I could literally just stay there and drive there every day from basically Nortonville.
That's cool, man. I'm sure they're excited to see you and get back to your roots a little bit on this trip.
Yeah, I'm really curious how it fishes, to be honest. Like knowing that all this stuff was here the whole time.
I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be real good, guys. I mean, we're hitting that fall time perfectly where the water's cooling down and the fish sense it. So let's see. Let's see the AOI standings real quick. So
we got Ryan Parker, first place with 2 first place finishes. Gives him 200 points because it's your top 2 regular season. And then plus your Broodmaster. Lance with 188.62. And again, I love the fractions. I love the way that we've covered that in other videos, but I love it. It's a lot of fun. It makes it very fair, and it makes it really good for the anglers that are like these guys at the top. Steve Baker, 180.39. Robert Weicker. I see a theme here, guys. You guys see a theme?
Ohio Power.
That's right.
They're coming in strong. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, so the screen here is just the top, 9 on this screen, but it goes all the way down. If you want to see me, I'm in 20th. But, yeah. Anything else you guys want to add about this?
I am, Billy.
Yeah.
21st.
I mean, no. I think the only thing I want to add is just that, Ohio does get kind of knocked, for not the greatest of all the bass fishing states, but man, we do tend to put out a lot of good anglers, I would say. And they seem to travel.
I feel like Drew's a poser though. He's not, he's a Georgian. He's a transplant.
No transplant. Actually, I got bass fishing on the roots, given I was born in Texas, grandparents retired on Toledo Bend. The other one was on the Sabine. I mean, definitely. Then I moved to Georgia. So yeah, no doubt. I think when I win, Ohio likes to claim me, but the truth is, yeah, I'm probably just a poser. But I will put the Ubco bike up there. That's the grand prize for the Angler of the Year, guys. So $5,000 bike from Ubco. Appreciate those guys as always. And people have been testing those bikes out at all these festivals, and they're blown away by the speed on those things and just how much fun they are. So
Dude, I took it up that hill, that rocky hill, and I was like, oh man, too much power.
yeah, it was
You
insane.
gotta have a helmet on for that.
Yeah, you really feel like you need one. So, but yeah, that's AY. Then there's a team of the year. I believe that, yeah, Ryan, Parker, and Steve, yeah, in the lead there, looks like. So, and then this is going to be interesting to see how this all shakes down. This is a little bit tighter. Is that right?
I mean, it definitely is, because there's not a lot of teams, that in striking distance. So if 4 of those teams turn up, it could be anybody's ball game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're all real
Yeah,
close here.
And then if they don't, for whatever reason, if they didn't fish well, say Steve and Parker don't fish well as a team, the first place team is going to separate themselves even that much further with the way that we score the points. So,
Yeah,
I would say Ryan and Steve, they need to have a strong finish. Don't necessarily need to win it, but they need to be within, close within inches of first or second place.
yeah, no doubt. That is cool about our format for AOI, because whoever's in the lead has to have a solid finish, because if they have a really bad finish and somebody laps them by 28, 30 inches, I mean, that's a lot of points. So that's going to be a lot. So we will see how that affects this finale. And moving on from that, our guest is in the queue here. I'll bring him in and introduce him. What's up, Jesse?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good, man. Pretty good. We are just excited about Broodstock, and we're about to get into the part that I think you can help us the most with. Just generalize, don't get into too specifics, because I know you're fishing this event. You're local in the area, or you at least have lived there for a while, right?
Yeah. I moved here in January of 2020 is when I moved to Kentucky, Bowling Green specific.
Yeah, nice. So you've been fishing it for a few years now, and you know the water pretty well, and I think you'll be able to give us a little bit of insight on what we're going to expect, and if you have any guesses on kind of how many inches it may take. I mean, given it's like a day and a half of fishing total, so
Yeah.
that's a little bit more than a normal tournament. So probably jump up a little bit more than usual, but yeah, I mean, how do you think this is going to go down, man? What do you think it's going to be for inches? Do you think it's a largemouth, smallmouth, a mix? Could it be either one of those species taking the title?
Man, I'm going to say it's probably going to end up being the largemouth, because the rivers they don't have much flow going right now. Everything's pretty stagnant. The smallmouth have pretty much moved into isolated locations, and you're seeing a lot of spots, largemouth, and who knows? You're going to get the occasional gar in there too, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of fun, especially on a fly rod, which you do a lot of fly fishing. And I believe you told me you were actually going to fly fish this event, which I don't think we've had anyone try to do that except for maybe 1 or 2 people for the micro bag division. But you're going all in for the macro bag, the biggest 5, with the fly rod, with some big streamers and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I actually put gear down about 5 years ago. So pretty much the whole time I've been in Kentucky, that's what I've been doing. And it's panning out well for me. I actually signed up for the micro as well. But like you said, we're going big.
Go big.
We're
That's
going
cool.
big.
I was going to bring in the screen here and actually share. I'll try to do it. Let me see. I'll bring in the Google Maps and I'll try to go, let's see, over to Bowling Green. And you guys got my screen there?
Nope.
No? Says it's sharing it, but maybe not.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, you got it? Okay. So, and obviously we got the Barren River here that comes out of the lake. And I need to actually find, I need to find Billy. I need to log into my account that actually shows the boundaries, so we can kind of go over that real quick. But while I'm doing that, making that switch, just can you talk to us a little bit about, again, you don't have to get into specifics. We got the Barren River. You got the Green River that, these are the main rivers that are in bounds, right? Obviously, anything that's free flowing into these counts as well. There could be some smaller tributaries that are also called quote unquote rivers, but the Green River, the Barren River, and you even got one called the Nolan River that's a little shorter that comes out of the dam there. And I believe is that it, or is there one more? That might be it. That might be the main ones right there. Those three. So, and then all the creeks, we're just not really, we're going to generalize them and just say creeks. But tell us a little bit about what to expect. Is there spotted bass in there, smallmouth and largemouth? And, I assume as a fly guy, you like to fish a lot of those kind of waters. But
yeah, absolutely, man. You can find smallmouth, largemouth, spot through all of the waterways out here. Like I was saying earlier, we haven't had a whole lot of rain this season. It's been pretty dry here recently. So we're kind of depending on the dams and the releasal of the water that they're letting out of the lakes. So that's a big thing that you're going to want to pay attention to is the water flow that they're letting out of the dams. And, you can get into a lot of the creeks and you're going to end up fishing a lot of pocket water. So like you were saying when we talked on the phone, you're going to need that leash, that 10-foot leash for sure. Not saying that the fish aren't in there, but take it for how it is. If you're a big water guy, I'm a fly guy, so I'm going to be finding skinny water, and that's the way that I'm going to be taking care of it. But the lake guys, definitely could take care of it. I think it's going to be a largemouth game though, especially with the way that the water's been holding back, and it's just hard to find those smallmouth, definitely, but they're in there. They're in there for sure.
And they get long and skinny, so we go by length, so you never know, that could work.
Well, and that's one thing that's different about this tournament. We're not going by weight, right?
Right.
We're going by length, so that makes it almost an even match across the board.
That's right. You guys keep chatting about that. Ask him a question, baby Jake, if you had a second. I got to go plug in my MacBook before I die. This power dies here. Thought I had enough power. Just give me a second. You guys keep going on about the waters there.
Heck yeah, Jake, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you? So I've actually fished around there a little bit when I was younger because my grandparents live over there in Crofton. But
okay,
are there a lot of spots in there? Like I know Drew brought it up, but do spotted bass tend to dominate the water? Because when I was younger, I remember catching a lot of them over there, but I just can't remember like what the ratios were like in there.
Yeah, and honestly, it seems to be an even spread, but it just depends on what the flow is like. Like I was saying, it's really dead right now. We've got leaves covering everything, and the smallmouth just don't like that. Not saying that they're not just as prevalent in the same waterway, but they're going to be choked up into the skinny water where you've got more run and more oxidization in the flow where it's not so warm, or there's a lot of springs in the area. So if you're trying to target smallmouth, you're going to want to try to locate some of those springs or stick closer to the tailwaters because the oxidization is there. And they're letting the water out of the bottom of the lake, so the temperature is different, right? But I'd say it's a 50-50 shot between how many of each species there are.
I told Drew that I thought that largemouth would be the dominant species as well, just based on what I know about the area. So
yeah, they're coming out more to play right now, so it definitely would be fair to say that's the situation, depending on where you're at in the river systems.
I think Drew's fixed his problem.
I'm trying to fix. Yeah, I got my things plugged up, and I want to pull up the map where we can see the boundaries real quick. And I have to sign into my different Google account. It's gonna, for whatever reason, I'm not signed into this one. But
yeah, I'm glad we're gonna touch base on this because I seen take out boundaries. So I wasn't 100% sure if that means we can run Barren and Green all the way up to the beginning of the tailwater under the lake. So I'm glad we're talking about this.
Yeah, this will be very important here. Give me a second. I'll just log in. You guys can.
I have it pulled up too, if you can see my screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in that Nolan River too.
It's a short one. It butts up. It's a short one. It's a short one, but the flows stay great because of how short it is. As long as they're letting enough water out of the lake, they stop trout in there too.
Really?
So don't be scared to bring a trout swim bait or whatever you like getting down on,
There might be some big ones just hiding in there that just eat nothing but trout all day.
No doubt, man. I secret spot. They stock trout there. But shortly after I moved here, I ended up sticking a 28-inch largemouth out of one of the trout stocked areas. So
Oh,
keep that
geez.
in mind,
What?
right? Some farm
28.
pigs.
28.
Yep, 28-inch, 8
Mouth
pounds.
closed.
Mouth closed.
No way. That's unreal,
Yes.
man. So I
That's
think
what I'm
100,
saying.
100 inches is possible when you get an 8-inch buffer like that, right?
That's the only one I've ever seen since I've been here. I've caught plenty of 20s, 21s, 22s, but that's pre-spawn, right?
Yeah.
All right, I got this thing figured out here.
All right.
So I can share my screen in full screen. I don't know why it doesn't let us do that easily on the site. Like, shouldn't there be like a little full screen thing where you can just take from the website and make that Google map big? And I don't have to go do this. But anyway, it's important to
Maybe
have this
one
up.
day.
Yeah, maybe. We're low budget here, first year.
All good.
There we go. So now you guys got it, right? You got the screen, we got all the boundaries. So if you see on the red are always, it's actually kind of, if you fish a lot of these events, you'll start to notice the symbol of this little canoer guy here is always, going to be your, in the red is also going to be your, like launch boundaries.
Okay.
So this is
Maybe I was working off a cell phone and it was cut.
You click on it. Yeah, if you click on it, you can see this is the Barren River launch boundary. And what that means for Kayak Adventure Series is just that's the farthest away from Bowling Green you can, in the most upstream point of the Barren River. So you can launch there and go further upstream. You know what I'm saying? You can go further.
Okay.
Or you can go downstream, of course, but you can't launch anywhere further upstream than there. That's a good ways away.
Yeah,
You're
no
almost
doubt.
about an hour. So
Yeah.
and then on the Red River, which is kind of a little wild card, is very small, so it's more like a creek. Let's face it, it's definitely like a creek size.
Definitely.
But that's part of that Tennessee River system. So it goes into the Cumberland River, which flows into the Tennessee, which flows into the Ohio, right? So that goes down towards Clarksville. So that's the upstream launch boundary on that one.
And you've probably got about an hour from
downstream
Bowling Green to there as well.
Yeah, you can take out anywhere, Drew, right? You can go upstream and then.
So I'm sorry. This is the upstream launch boundary. It's the only you can fish anything from here, obviously closer, further. Actually, I'm trying to think. No, it's flowing south there. I'm trying to I got to wrap my head around it. Usually, I type in downstream. I type in the words usually downstream or upstream, and I didn't on that last one. I don't know why, but downstream launch boundary is right here. So you can, to Billy's point, float further down. Even you could go all the way across into Tennessee from there if you wanted to, and take out anywhere publicly. That legally and publicly you can take out anywhere. You could normally take out and put in on any given, Saturday, Sunday, weekend you fish. So that's kind of interesting. It's way far away and it's a little bit of a teeny little creek, but
Man, you've got a lot of coverage here.
Yeah, a lot.
Plenty of options.
Plenty. If we ever have 300, 400, 500 people in these events, which we will.
Yeah.
We've got it covered. And what makes this fun, Jesse, is the fact that you'll see this. It's a puzzle that no one's ever had all these waters in play to try to have to figure out and use their knowledge on Google Maps and research with YouTube and just Google research and all, just to figure out and solve the puzzle of all these different types of waters. Where would the biggest 5 fish be? So we're creating a new game, and the kayak is the best tool to access any of these waters. So it's a really cool game here. The downstream launch on the Green River is right there around, I guess that's Rockport, little town of Rockport, just under the interstate there. And that's
big water down there, man. That's big water.
It's gotten a lot bigger, right? All the way down there.
Are you talking about like wide or?
Oh yeah, and deep, probably 21, 25 foot deep in spots.
Yeah, it looks big, and it definitely looks like, and you can see there's some there's some actual boat ramps. I'm sure it gets a lot more boat traffic there, right? Because
I think this weekend they're actually holding a local bass tournament out there.
Yeah, wow. So they're in there.
Keep an eye on that. I'm curious what they come in with. I think the Green is the most obvious river in play because it's the most well known of
spoken about, no doubt. You could find a million articles on the Green.
Yep. And while I'm here, I will just mention these green symbols are new. We've never had to really use those before. And I just decided it was weird. I didn't know if I should put one symbol and just say the whole, Peabody WMA, but basically I'm just kind of calling out this whole section here, which if you switch your satellite imagery to, if I go to the layer, which I can probably do right here to this, you can see it's all this dark green is all the Peabody Wildlife Management Area. So all that dark green land is public. And all those lakes inside there are also public. So, and even this one over here. So it's kind of calling out all of these. And on the website, you'll notice, and we'll pull it up here in a second as well. We'll circle back to the Peabody WMA. Remind me, Billy, to circle back on this. But all the information on this area and which lakes and ponds are public, it's on their website. It's really well done. It looks complicated now because it's old strip mines and you're seeing a bunch of craziness and adventure looking stuff. And that's exactly what it's going to be. So
yeah, if you're interested in Peabody, man, I would say come down here 2-3 days in advance because you could never have enough time to explore all of your options out there, right?
Yep. It's a wild, wild place. All these waterfall symbols are it's just a point on the river where I'm calling out, this is the Green River. It's one of your, so, and then, and so basically there's nothing within an hour that's not, as long as it's free flowing, a free flowing river or a major lake, which we call out the lakes right here. With this boat ramp symbol, we're always calling out the lakes is in bounds. And anything that flows into that lake as well, we have to put an upstream launch boundary on the river. It flows into Nolan Lake, the Nolan River, and it's right here at Millerstown
Does
Road.
Nolan have smallmouth in the lake? Probably not, right?
Shoot, man, I couldn't be the guy.
No, it does. Oh yeah, they're in there.
I would say every lake around here has got smallmouth in it.
Yeah.
As far as
Really?
They're in there, and it's good habitat, deep, clear. It's good habitat for them.
Flowing, yeah. I guess that makes sense. It's just like sometimes, like you don't always see the smallmouth in the actual lakes proper.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if we looked earlier at that Nolan River that came out of there, we've seen the green, we've seen the Barren and the Barren River Lake right here. Again, another just calling out the lake. These big lakes, man, I think they're wild card. I mean, they've got, the bigger the ocean, the bigger the fish. People using live scope now and electronics really figuring them out. They're there. I mean, there's no doubt there are some big, big fish in these lakes. So that's kind of a wild card. Can anyone, I think people kind of get locked into our style of series being a very kind of DIY, very creative. You can, portage over trees and logs and put in wherever is public. So it kind of feels like it's a lot of anglers like to fish the rivers and creeks, which they do, of course, but it leaves these lakes kind of wide open for the tournament anglers. Obviously you might have some recreational fishermen on the lakes, but just wide open from, and devoid of pressure from our tournament anglers. So someone could really find them, on a big lake like this and smash them.
Definitely put a hurting on the board. Definitely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, back to our headquarters right here at the National Corvette Museum. You guys will see we're gonna actually hang out and party at our festival right here in this grassy circle in all this area here. So we'll have some booth setups, some bounce houses, Toyota trucks. I think it's going to be at this one, just like all the rest of them as well. And you guys can park right here in this parking lot here, or if you have a trailer, you can come over here where these bigger trucks are. It's going to be really easy. We're going to walk right inside and go into the it's called the Chevrolet Theater, and then we'll go in there and do our awards. So it's going to be a fun venue for that. And right across the street, just so you guys can see where that opening ceremonies is going to be, is right here at the Motorsports Park. And there's our go-kart, our kartplex right here. So start learning those twists and turns. And it's going to be fun. They got a new building, I think. Is this the new one? I don't know if this is the new building. It might be already on the satellite image. Yeah. So this is the rooftop area we're going to be hanging out at for our check-in and registration, and plenty of parking. So should be fun. And trying to think what else, the major things we can go back to the website or keep talking about.
Well, yeah, you want to go back to the.
Oh yeah.
No, you want to see the Peabody website. Yeah.
So let's do that before we wrap this up. Peabody. So we'll present the screen again for our website. So yeah, anything that's free flowing, that into those rivers and lakes. So if there's a small, like a spillway type dam, that's still fine, guys, to go, above, to put in above, to fish above or below it. As long as you're, of course, downstream or upstream of our downstream or upstream launch boundary, you're fine, even on those little dams like that, because they're just flowing the river. But the Peabody, as I scroll, I think I put some links to it right here. Yeah. Right here, I've got links to the Peabody WMA website. And if I click on it, I don't think it's going to share it with you guys, but go click on these links here because there's detailed maps and their website, all their fishing access sites. It tells you if it's good for a light trailerable boat or what kind of access it is. So definitely check that out. That's where you need to get all the information on Peabody. If you want to tackle that, like you said, Jesse, that just sort of insanity over there, that just chaos, just so many.
Hey, man,
lakes or
the
ponds
thing is a lot of it is untouched. So take that for what you will,
Yeah.
But a lot of places you're going to have to drag to. You won't even be able to use your wheels,
Yep.
My
and
grandpa
who
got
knows?
stuck out there trying to get to one of those, and I had to
Don't
push him
doubt it.
out. It's one
Don't
of my
doubt it.
earliest core memories of going fishing with him was going out to that place. I forget what he called it. He had some weird name, but he called it the strip mines.
Yeah.
I would go out there, and he got stuck in the mud, and he didn't have 4-wheel drive. It was I forget what he called it. It was like where like the wheels would spin at different speeds. And he's like, "Oh, that'll get me out of there," and like it wasn't getting him out of there, and I had to push him out. But the reason why I'm telling this story, it was just so remote, and I can remember vividly how clear the water was there. Like it was crystal clear in this particular one we were in, and I know each one is going to be different based on what kind of rock it is.
Minerals and stuff like that. You'll find some
Yeah.
crystal blue water, crystal clear. You'll find some muddy water.
Yeah.
Definitely. You'll
It's
find
just
it all.
cool to see what that little wild card with that, because, like I fished a lot of these quarries back in North Carolina where I lived for 10 years. There were some near my house and I got permission to fish them. They had a bunch of different lakes and ponds, and they sort of get stocked just from some of the workers that
Right.
work there. They just kind of, I dump some bass in there. So, and then obviously if you just dump bass into a pond, nothing's really going to come of it. They don't have their brim and the bait fish and all that. You got to actually like develop the whole ecosystem. So if there's any little creek, see, these are just dug out quarries. They're not like made by a creek. So it's not like it gets populated by some, suckers and your creek chubs and minnows and all that stuff naturally from a creek that's flowing it. So it has to actually so if you don't put all that in there and it's all balanced, then there's a lot of them that are
Just a
worthless.
puddle of
They
water.
were actually bad fishing. They were a big waste of time. Now I'm sure over time these have all been, but like it's a lot of work for the state to take into account every one of those things and perfectly manage them or continue to check them to manage them like they do the bigger lakes. So I'm telling you right now, a lot of those are going to be a big fat waste of time, and it could be a fool's gold for people that is robbing your time. But then again, you could also hit gold, because if you find the right ones that aren't as pressured, that maybe, I don't know, because the locals probably pressure the ones that are a little easier to access, I would think, and so maybe those get hit harder and they're not as good. But then the other ones that are more remote maybe weren't ever really stocked with the proper balance, and maybe have they ever gotten balanced over time with nature just kind of working itself out, right? Who knows? It's just, you got to go figure it out, and that's what's cool about having that in play. So we'll see how it affects it.
And then just to add a little bit more context to it, I looked up like from Highway 431 to 231, and if you just connect those, that's like 16 miles.
Yeah.
So imagine having a lake that was 16 miles from end to end, except it's not a lake. It's a bunch of little tiny lakes.
Ponds.
You got to go find them.
That's
Yeah.
Well, and if you hop on the satellite, you'll be able to see a majority of them do connect at some point, or groups of them connect and groups of them
you
connect,
can
right?
see like barely
There's
connects through here.
Look at that one that's green right there. That's what I'm
yeah.
talking about. Like
Weird.
some of them
Yeah.
have that, like
Just
there's nothing in
weird.
that. There's nothing in that.
Maybe.
No.
Probably not.
Grass cart.
No.
With how that looks, probably not, if it's that bad.
But a lot of these do get choked out with weeds because they're so fertile with like
100%.
Yeah.
minerals and stuff, and like you get a lot of those reeds up
many.
along the banks that are very common to strip pits, even
Yeah.
around here. And what's funny is we have a Peabody here, Peabody
Yeah.
Mining Company, Wildlife Management Area number 29. It's like
Yeah.
so.
To Billy's point though, because we did specify that's only the Peabody WMA between 231 right here, this right around Cromwell, that Highway 231, and this one over here, which was 431. And the reason I did that and had to do that, guys, is because this is also considered Peabody WMA over here. All this green, and that's further than an hour away from, Bowling Green. So we only want this. I think it's the eastern section, not the western Peabody. So this is all in bounds, and that is not. So.
Yeah, make sure you pay close attention to that because it's easy to get mixed up and crossed over for sure.
Yeah. I think this is going to be an interesting event. I still have the tug. Me personally, have the tug for like creek and smallmouth. That's just kind of the style of angler I am. But there definitely comes to a point where you got to just face reality and realize maybe that we're so far south. Bowling Green's, basically it's basically Tennessee, and that is. Tennessee's considered the South, and you're kind of getting a warm climate. You get your largemouth grow pretty darn big. Like you said, you caught a 28. I haven't even heard of many 28s ever come out of Florida. So I'd love to see a picture of that if you got one.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, man. I've never used StreamYard before.
Yeah, but if you can text it to me, whatever, we'll have to post it. But
yeah,
I could get it on. But it's but if you got a picture, we want to share it and get it out there that there are literally 28-inch. Our catch boards are 26, for example.
Oh, yeah.
So you would be capped at 26 inches.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, to be fair, the one that came out of Dale Hollow, I think, was pretty close to that, and it was a small one, so.
Could be lying, but I want to say it was 32 inch at 13 and a half pounds. They've got it hanging.
Yeah.
No, smallmouth. They've got it hanging. Yeah, they've got it hanging on the wall at Cabela's here in Bowling Green. You have to
32.
Check
yeah, we'll have to check that. That sounds a little insane. 32. I don't know.
I think it's like I think they're like the record's 12. I think it's 12.
12. Okay.
I don't remember the length, but it was definitely in the high 20s. It was a big one out of Dale.
Hey man, I like your optimism, dude. Let's just it's huge, 32. Man. If it's 32,
as soon as I showed up, I had to get a picture of it, man. It was monstrous.
Yeah, that's cool.
You want to know something about that fish? He caught that trolling.
Really?
Which is legal. That's right.
Just throwing that out there, guys.
You catch it. Trolling, which is legal in KAS, along with other cool things. By the way, don't forget, if you're watching this, you can use 2 rods at one time. If you've got a follower fish, you can pitch back in. Or if you get hung up with 1 rod, technically, if it's hung up underwater, you throw another rod in, you're actually breaking rules in other tournaments that only allow 1 rod at a time, because a fish could still eat that bait off that log. So anyway, you don't have to worry about that in the Kayak Adventure Series. You can troll, like obviously just with 2 rods, no more than that. You can use a canoe. If you need to get a watercraft approved, hit us up, contact us through the website. We've already approved several other like inflatables, some kind of funky boats that are not really like mainstream boats. We've approved those. So, hit us up. We'll get them approved if they're not too far away from the kayak. So, all right. Anything else, guys, before we wrap this up? I'm excited. I'm pumped to see you guys. Have fun here. I don't care how many people there. I don't care. I know a lot of other stuff's going on, hunting, fishing, football. There's other tournaments going on. We're going to have fun if it's 50 people or 150 people as always, and keep this momentum going right into 2025 at Ocalapalooza, starting off in Ocala, Florida for the 2025 Kayak Adventure Series. So I am stoked to just wrap it up, put a bow on this thing, and just start the planning. I'm already working on 2026 contracts and locations with people. So
wow,
I'm excited to see how it all shakes out and how big we can kind of grow this thing. Because the bigger we grow it, it's just a bigger party, bigger festival, bigger pot and payout for everyone. Just more fun. So let's just keep it going and see if we can't get to the point where we really, really, really need that much water. Like Jesse said, how much water we have in bounds, because nobody wants to be crowded with other anglers on a tournament day. We don't. And that's why these boundaries are the way they are. And we want to make it a fun, different puzzle and different game. So appreciate your time, Jesse. Excited to see you, man, and just have some fun. And, we're going to have to get on the water ourselves, Jake and Billy, and try to do some fishing early in the week or whenever you guys get there. But we'll try to stay out of we'll try to find some sneaky place out of the way where nobody else will be, or some water that's out of bounds or something. So,
yeah, I might go after a bowfin or a muskie. I wouldn't hate to catch a muskie while I'm down there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome,
man.
Yeah,
got to go to Eastern Kentucky for that.
Well, all right.
I've heard they're in there in some of these areas, so We'll see. We'll see, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Been trying.
Yep. Well, thanks for your
Yeah.
time. And this is going
Absolutely.
to be live tomorrow. We're recording it the night before. And if you guys are posting any comments, we may not reply to them live because we're not live. We probably should have said that from the very, very beginning. But anyway, we are not live at 11 a.m. when you guys are watching.
Yeah.
And questions. See you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Sweet, thanks for having me, man.
Hey, buddy.
See ya.
Adventure series.
Later.
This is where you choose your own adventure. You want to be offshore.